com. Got ourselves a nice one today. It's going to be a bit on the toasty side, 93 degrees for a high, partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, a little cloudier. Got a 30% chance of rain, 91. 50% chance of rain on Saturday, 89 for a high. And then 87 on Sunday with a 60% chance of rain. So, yeah, we just kind of increase as time goes by. In fact, Monday we're talking about an 80% chance of rain. But that's Monday. We're way off from that. And things are most likely going to change between now and then, so let's try not to freak out about it too much, okay? All righty. Overall, we had one of the greatest comebacks in NBA history, and certainly the biggest in NBA Finals history last night, as the Knicks came from 29 points down.
That's a pretty big deficit.
To beat the Spurs by one.
Amazing.
And they did that, 107-106, an amazing tip-in. I've seen that 3 or 4 times now this morning on video, and still very impressed by it. It just goes to show what a home crowd can do for you. And now Knicks are up 3-1 over the Spurs. I still can't imagine how the Spurs let a 29-point lead slip away.
That's amazing.
Well, and the other side of this is the fact that in Game 3, when Donald Trump showed up there and the Knicks blew a lead, they blamed Donald Trump.
Of course.
Now, all of a sudden, we're calling the Spurs chokers. Sorry,
Right,
teams
no
blow
longer-
leads all the time,
It's
ladies
true.
and gentlemen.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big
happen.
lead to blow, though.
It's almost like, when it starts to snowball, when you begin to see that,
yeah.
they're coming back.
Yeah.
It's like you can't stop it. It's hard once they get that momentum.
Yeah.
It's like, look out. You better do something to shut this down.
I know many people on the golf course who are just like it. One bad shot, and then they can't do anything right after that.
that gets in your head.
Exactly. It's all between your ears, man. Alabama Tree Pros, 308-4158. This is the place you want to go if you are having a tree difficulty. Maybe a tree needs to come down. It's a little on the old side. You're worried about it. It's beginning to rot from the inside out. Limbs are starting to fall off with regularity. You're afraid it's going to fall on your house, your neighbor's house, your power line, something like that. Well, this is what they specialize in at Alabama Tree Pros. They can also trim your tree up, or they can go ahead and grind it all the way down to the ground and remove the stump and everything. On the other hand, if you want to try to save it, if it's savable, they will tell you that because they are experts in the field of trees. They do all this for less than the other guys. They're just as safe, just as expert. They're just as qualified and just as efficient as anybody else out there. They just happen to do it for less. AlabamaTreePros.com, AlabamaTreePros.com, 308-4158. Give them a call. Tell them you heard about it here. They like to hear that. Unclaimed Baggage going to hold a second annual unclaimed auction in June. The event features authentic, unprocessed suitcases and unique items discovered in lost luggage. I guarantee there are people out there who
they're
want
like,
these
what
bags,
happened to
right?
what happened to my luggage? Can I get that back? I don't know about you. I've never lost something permanent like that.
No.
Flying and the suitcase is gone.
Nor have I.
Now, I've been, I've been separated from it for, 48 hours.
Yes.
But other than that,
For me, it was 6. That was the most I was separated. I went
6
down and
hours?
checked my bags just to see if they had shown up, and they did, and I grabbed them and got on the bus 6 hours after I was supposed to because I was waiting to see if the luggage would show up, and it did, which was very good. But,
it belongs to somebody.
that's what I'm thinking. I guess.
Could we just not, I don't know. That's why you got to put proper ID on the thing, not only on the outside, but on the inside, too. So if it gets lost, you can get reconnected with it. I don't know.
Jennifer Krittner with Unclaimed Baggage talked a little bit about this, said one of my favorite things in the late 90s, we found a Colombian emerald that was raw and unset in the toe of a sock.
Ooh.
It was 40 carats. It was amazing.
Golly.
Emerald was worth $32,000 at the time. Still wasn't the most expensive thing they found. That title belongs to the men's platinum presidential Rolex. Retailed for $64,000 around 2017. We sold it for $32,000. She said the gentleman recently had it reappraised for over $100,000. Somebody somewhere is like, hey, that's my watch.
Yeah, really.
Not anymore.
Could I have that back, please?
Thanks to contracts with major airlines, Unclaimed Baggage processes and sells lost luggage that wasn't able to be returned to its owner. I imagine at some point, the airline makes a settlement and says, okay, how much was your
Here's a couple $100 or
baggage
something.
worth? Yeah,
$300.
I don't know how you resolve that if you have an uncut emerald or a platinum Rolex. If you go like my baggage was worth $64,000, sure it was. No, really.
You probably really didn't need to want to put that watch in there. You
might
you might want to hang on to that.
Wearing that on your wrist.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that. But, these people are these people, and they're doing what they're doing. So if you want to get involved in this thing, I guess you could go ahead and look up beginning at 10 a.m. You can auction off suitcases that are unprocessed, unclaimed, authentic suitcases just as we found them. Every hour, 4 suitcases will go up for auction. And at the top of every hour, whoever the winner is, we get the thrill of opening the suitcase together. Just go to unclaimedbaggage.com to find out more. Unclaimed baggage.
And this thing is on Saturday, I think, the 13th.
That's the claim, yes.
Yeah.
Saturday the 13th. I don't know. Just my luck, it'd be like, it's a suitcase full of feces. Congratulations.
Yee.
What did you pay for that?
Ooh.
$70. Yay. It's fertilizer.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
That seems kind of weird to me.
Yeah,
I mean, the odds of you finding, a Rolex watch or,
sure,
a diamond in the rough, it's like
everybody thinks about those things.
Yeah.
Very few people actually see them or get to do them. It's like the unclaimed storage lockers, when they're a show about that where people were betting on this stuff or bidding on this stuff all the time. I'd be the guy who finds I got the one with a dead body in it,
Right.
And they're like,
I don't
okay.
care for that
but
at
it's
all.
a Jimmy Hoffa.
You ever do that when you travel that I do that with some clothes, like if you have a pair of jeans or a shirt or a dress or something, ladies, that you're like, I really love that and I would hate to be separated from it and never get it back again, that you put it in your carry-on rather than your checked baggage.
Sure,
if you're checking it, because you're like, you know what, if this goes missing, and it's happening more frequently than ever before, if this goes missing, I'm going to be crushed if this is gone.
Yeah. If you got something that you absolutely adore, I have a jacket that I just will not part with. I lost one jacket on the way to Chicago. I brought it just in case, the windy city was a little windy. I know it was August when we were there, but it's like, I know how Chicago can get. I've been there many times, and that wind coming off the lake can sometimes really just take it out of you. So I brought this black jacket that I had, cloth jacket. I was really excited about it, and I left it on the plane and walked right off. And I was just like, next thing you know, I'm on the L. Mm-hmm. I'm on my way to get some deep dish pizza, and I'm like,
no jacket.
My jacket's on the plane. So now I never take the jacket off when I'm on the plane.
Just leave
I've
it on.
got this beautiful jacket I wear all the time. I love it. I wear it while I'm on the plane. And it's like sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but not as uncomfortable as leaving a jacket you love on the plane. Yeah. I also got, when I went to Dublin, I got this travel vest. I bought it online. And I'm not one of those guys who's always like checking for pickpockets and worried about that kind of stuff all the time. But it certainly made it convenient to be
have
like
things right on you.
My passport's going in the left breast pocket, zipped up.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my wallet in my down here in the right front pocket, and that's going to be zipped up. And anybody who's going to get at your stuff is going to have to work pretty hard.
Yeah, they're going to have to stab you, Richard.
And
they're going to have to cut that jacket off.
Well,
of
it was fortunately it was stab-proof jacket.
Stab-proof.
Because I knew I was
There's
going to
extra
Europe.
Padding in it around the chest.
I was going to Europe where they stab people all the time.
Hey, that's Speaking of that, in Ireland, that guy. Oh man,
what is going on in Belfast?
I don't know.
They can't.
They got that city, lit up
now.
It
is en fuego.
Mm-hmm.
We can get into that a little bit later in today's show as well, if you're so inclined. 545-9950 if you'd like to sound off. Parrott Structural Services, ParrottSS.com, 668-2626 when the foundation starts to go south. These are the guys you need on your side. Parrott Structural Services is going to be as forthright, as honest, and as complete as you would hope these folks would be. They're not in the business of trying to snow you. They're not going to hold back on we're not going to tell you the price until the absolute. They'll tell you right up front, here's about what you're looking at. And believe me, they know what they're talking about. That's why they say get a structural engineer to back us up and make sure that you believe what we're telling you. They just want to make sure that everything's 100% copacetic with this thing. You can give them a call, 668-2626. You can find them online at parrottss.com, another good place to get an education about your foundation, 668-2626. They're licensed, they're bonded, they're insured, they're E-Verify compliant. They have a tool for every issue that might arise. That's why I trust them. Parrott Structural Services, parrottss.com. Written by Chris Christopherson, of course. Huge one for Janice. Probably my favorite part of the song is about the last 90 seconds, 2 minutes, where you've got two keyboard players, a piano and an organ, just absolutely duking it out. Richard Bell, one of the keyboard players on that, and he later went on to join the band, and then he died.
Aww.
Because that's what happens when you join the band.
You die?
You die, whether you want to or not.
Oh.
It's just the way. Kind of like joining the Grateful Dead. It's the other choice. Could have done that. Didn't work out well for him. 7:20 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. What the heck? Why don't we just dive in with this, huh?
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, Donald Trump is once again bombing the snot out of Iran. He says, look, we're going to keep this up until you sign. He has revealed where he wants to sign the Iran peace deal. I think it's at the bottom, right? Is that no?
Right at the bottom, right where that line is, and a little X beside it.
Exactly.
There you signature go. Right
That's
underneath.
Right.
Yeah, you just want to initial it. That would be fine. Anything.
Once a date next to it. No, it's in Switzerland is where he wants to get this done. Trump revealed the detail in an interview with Fox News foreign correspondent Trey Yingst on Thursday, even as hostilities between the U.S. and Iran continue at their hottest point in weeks. VP J.D. Vance says negotiations are taking place with both Iran's political leadership and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's got to be difficult because you're dealing with two different factions. One of them is like, yes, okay, we agree, and the other one's like, never. So you're kind of, why don't you guys figure out between yourselves what you're in for, and then we'll talk to you. And in the meantime, the bombs are going to continue to fall.
Yeah, you would think that those discussions, they'd be moving really, really quick on them right now.
You would think.
It's like, look, we need to stop this bombing. The only way it's going to stop is you got to sign on the dotted line. So you two cats figure it out, and let's get an answer here and get it on the piece of paper.
U.S. forces disabled a third vessel that was violating the Iran blockade and ended up killing 3 Indian sailors in the process. India is quite upset about this, but then again, the U.S. simply says, well, they shouldn't have been on a boat that was trying to break through the blockade. So we're going to disable those boats. Yeah.
Ultimately.
Basically how that works. Saeed Abdullahi Erig. I know that sounds like I just gave you a jumble, but that's an actual name.
Sounds like you made that up,
It
Richard.
does, doesn't it? But he has now been arrested by the FBI. He was on the DOJ's most wanted fraudsters list. He allegedly stole from the federal child nutrition program during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were talking in the millions of dollars. Yep. He's a Minneapolis grocery and deli owner. He surrendered to federal authorities, marking the first person on the FBI's new most wanted fraudsters list to be taken into custody as federal authorities continue a nationwide fraud crackdown. The FBI said Eric, a former South Minneapolis grocer and deli owner, surrendered to federal authorities less than a week after the Justice Department unveiled its most wanted fraudsters list, which is intended to publicly identify individuals charged in major fraud cases. Minnesota must just have made this incredibly easy, right? $4.2 million from the federal child nutrition program.
No one was looking. No one was monitoring this.
Obviously not.
From the government to state leaders there, it's like nobody was looking at this. They were just robbing people blind.
And you can't help but notice that 90% of the names that you get are Middle Eastern or Somalian. You know, it's like there seemed to be a certain clique, a group of people that were probably all attending the same seminar on how you do this. And
one of them figured out the loophole and told all of their friends.
They told 2 friends.
They're like, come on
in. They
in.
told 2 friends, and they told
we'll
2
start a large group, and we'll all do this.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Very,
That's
very
our
strange.
money, people. That is our money.
Well, it's nice to see Terry Sewell in the news, but for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Terry Sewell lashed out at Republican efforts to investigate a Democratic fundraising apparatus, characterizing the ongoing fraud probe as the most recent instance of, get this, GOP retribution against black women in power.
What?
Over and over again, Donald Trump's Department of Justice has harassed black women with bogus lawsuits, Sewell said. Her criticisms come as the Republican lawmakers probe Act Blue, a Democratic fundraising and campaign organization, and its CEO and president, Regina Wallace Jones, for potentially accepting illegal donations. Yeah, Act Blue is a perfect example of a money laundering situation. They could take money from anywhere, really. Could have been from foreign entities. We don't know. And they launder it, run it through the ringer, and then hand it out to Democratic candidates. And you say, well, why would they do that? Well, because there are certain forces elsewhere in the world that would benefit immensely from having Democrats in power in this country. I don't know if you've noticed this or not. They don't seem to like Donald Trump that much.
Oh, no. Well.
They respect him. They fear him. They don't like him because he doesn't let them get away with jack.
No.
And consequently,
call it out.
Yeah, they would much rather have Democrats in power in this country if they could. So Act Blue has been doing this for quite some time. There were folks, for a while, they tried to sell it as something other than political. And people were, pouring money into Act Blue for a variety of different, what they thought was a variety of different great entities, good charitable causes, NGOs that are worthy of your time and attention. And then it finally came out, no, they're just giving it all to the Democratic Party. It's like, oh, okay. Well,
the truth is that.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And so there were some people who were like, can I get that money back?
No.
What do I have to do
to
get the money back? Because I'm not really crazy about that. All right, one more story just for fun. The USPS, it could actually block mail-in ballots without state voter rolls.
How about that?
This is an interesting, this is to me, putting Al Capone in prison for tax evasion,
Yeah.
Because we're making it very difficult. Like, we want to make it harder to vote by mail. Well, you don't have that power because it's all done by the states. But you know what's federal? The post office. The post office is federal. So the post office can make a rule that says we don't send ballots out unless we have state voter rolls. California, I'm looking at you.
The only thing is, Richard, when I saw this story and I said that it was the U.S. Postal Service that was going to oversee this, I was like, do they do very many things correctly and right?
All hope is lost, you're saying.
I wanted to have hope. I was like, oh, well, this is very good. We're going to tighten up, and make our elections a little more secure, and the U.S. Postal Service is going to help to make that happen. And I was like, oh, it's the U.S. Postal Service. What am I thinking? Just for a second, I was like, oh, and I was like, oh.
You're telling me that the guy in the shorts and the pith helmet walking door to door in the summer cannot be trusted to make sure?
That's the one that we're going to entrust with our elections.
This is the literal interpretation of seeing a light at the end of the tunnel and realizing it's a train.
It is. That's exactly right. And no offense to those of you in the U.S. Postal Service. We love you guys that work hard day in and day out. But as an overall rule, there's not a lot that goes right there.
You got a good point, and I would add to that the USPS is only as good as whoever is at the top of it at any given time. You might remember a couple of years ago, they decided to go out and buy a whole bunch of new vehicles, and I pointed out, wow, the USPS under the Biden administration, it's all working toward this whole green energy thing or whatever.
They said no.
They just bought all these vehicles and they're all gas powered.
Yeah.
Well, somebody must have heard that and figured that out, and they went like, oh, now let's buy 100,000 electric vehicles too.
Yeah.
And so they did. Now, are those going to be good? Are they going to be useful? I don't know, but I think they did it just to try to make things look good.
Yes, exactly. That's the only reason they did it.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing when they ordered the gas one.
Sure.
They were like,
we need something that's going to work.
We need to go.
But when you look at something like having to have voter lists, voter rolls, before you can mail out these ballots, that's something that could be loosened up in the next administration or the one after that. It's pretty easily faltered. That's why, something like the SAVE Act, which would be a law, a SAVE Act that says, look, you got to prove that you're a citizen in order to register to vote. You got to prove who you are when you go to vote. That's something that cannot be undone with a simple presidential signature.
You know what it reminds me, and I think about this too, sometimes in the mail, and this has happened to me before, where I go out to the mailbox, and that's like once a week. I'll go out to the mailbox, and in there are like 3 coupon little books. Not one, but 3. It was almost like, I need to get rid of these quickly because I've got a bunch of these.
Right.
And I'm just fearful with the mail-in ballots, they'll be like, well, this household is only supposed to get 1, but I've got like 5 over here. I'll just slide those in the mailbox too. They stuck together. That's it's going to happen.
It's possible. It's possible, yes.
We can't leave it I'm sorry, we cannot leave it to the U.S. Postal Service to be in charge of this.
Every once in a while, you run across that guy who's been like saving up the mail and got a storage unit and just shoves it
in there. Bye-bye. Or that's the other thing is you're supposed to get one of the ballots and you don't.
Nobody gets a ballot. They just decide not to deliver them. Oh, this is a Trump neighborhood. We're not giving them ballots.
That's
we
right.
don't want them to have ballots. So, yeah, okay. You got a good point there. 7:30 Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk99.5.com. Coming up, we rank chain restaurant biscuits. Well, I mean, we don't, but
Somebody did.
Somebody's going
Maybe
to.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Who knows? 7:35. You're listening to Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. A Friday Eve. Looks like a nice day today. Get out and maybe enjoy it a little bit. Might be a good time to zip in your vehicle over to Birmingham Broker. Let me say that again, to Birmingham Broker. What's so special about Birmingham Broker is that you're dealing with somebody local that wants to sell your car quickly and get the most value out of that car for you. They're not in it to keep as much equity out of your vehicle as they can, because that's what happens a lot of times when you go to a dealership. They're not looking out for your best interest. They're there to make money and as much as they possibly can. And sometimes that's on your trade-in vehicle. So do it the smart way. Know that you're dealing with Craig and the guys at Birmingham Broker, who we personally know and have known since we started the station over a decade ago. That's how long they've been with us. We are very confident that they will take good care of you. They will make sure that they're going to give you that number as soon as they see the vehicle, the truck, or the SUV you want to sell, whatever kind of car it is. And they tell you up front, hey, we're going to sell this car, we're going to put it on the market, and we're going to try to get this price for it, so you know what that number is. And they're going to work so hard to try to get it done quickly. So take your car over to them today, downtown Birmingham, 2224 4th Avenue South. You probably never sell a used car another way than through Birmingham Broker. Once you do this process, you'll be like, well, that was super easy, hassle-free for you. That's what it's all about. You'll love working with them. Birmingham Broker, again, downtown Birmingham. Look them up online, bhambroker.com.
736, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. We have got ourselves a beautiful day with a 93-degree high and partly cloudy skies and rain creeping into the forecast over the next few days, but it is a slow creep, so you'll be okay. One of the great things about living in the South is something that I didn't discover until I moved here, and that is biscuits. I love biscuits. Biscuits are actually pretty rare in the Northland. Mm-hmm. They get made occasionally. They get, I suppose once the fast food breakfast became a thing, they probably become a little more common. But overall, like at my house, the only time my mother ever made or served biscuits was when she made beef stew, and she would serve it over biscuits.
Oh, yum.
Which was quite tasty.
I bet that was
quite
good.
Tasty. We tend to do it more over like things like rice in the South, but that's okay. You can still throw it on a biscuit if you want. But I just love a biscuit. I love a plain biscuit. I love a biscuit with butter. Mm-hmm. I love a biscuit with cheese. You basically, if it's on a biscuit, I want it, is what I'm trying to say.
Put a little egg and cheese,
but it
sausage or whatever.
A good biscuit. Mm-hmm. I don't want one of these crumbly, sorry-ass, sad.
It can have a little crumble, but it must be a moist crumble.
Yes, moist.
There's a difference.
A moist crumble. That's the name of my band. The Moist Crumble.
That should be it for the next one, huh?
All right, so this is a ranking done by Meredith Burkhart of Tasting Table.
All right, Meredith, you better get this right, girl.
I don't know. Everybody's got their own view of how these things should go, and she missed a couple of restaurants, in my opinion, but we'll start with her number 9, Cracker Barrel. No one is more surprised than me. The Cracker Barrel's biscuits are at the bottom of my list. Cracker Barrel's an iconic Southern comfort food establishment. The fact that it offers such a poor quality biscuit is near shameful, but I feel like the quality of Cracker Barrel as a whole has been slipping over the years. When you order biscuits at Cracker Barrel, you get 4 the same price as a single biscuit from another chain. However, my biscuits were visibly overcooked and were too dark on top. And while they didn't taste burnt, they were dry and hard on the outside.
No, that's not good.
That sounds like that location.
Maybe.
I did not want to take more than 2 bites.
Yeah, that's a shame. Try another location, like Steve said.
I would agree. Let's go to Wendy's, coming in at number 8. I don't dislike Wendy's biscuits, but I will say they ain't nothing to write home about.
I can say I don't think I've ever done a Wendy's breakfast. I don't think
I can tell you right now I have never done a Wendy's breakfast.
I don't think I have either.
I've done it a few times, a couple of times, and I would say the biscuit worked well as a vehicle for everything in it, but it was not a standout on its own.
So in other words, you could have had a bun.
Really, very much so.
And a biscuit.
As far as chains go, Wendy's is still pretty new to the breakfast scene. I hadn't had the chance to try its biscuits before. I was really excited at the prospect. Wendy's was on the short list of fast food restaurants I wanted to visit. My expectations for Wendy's breakfast biscuits were slightly high, as I feel that Wendy's has solidly executed its new menu additions and changes over the years. However, I was highly disappointed when I bit into this foil-wrapped biscuit. I was offered jelly with my order, which was nice, and the biscuit put on a decent show, although it was slightly small.
Wait a minute.
That's one
Biscuits
thing.
are putting on a show?
Putting on a show. Mm-hmm. The outside had a nice crispiness and a whisper of butter.
Whisper.
And the overall biscuit tasted like shortening. While expected to taste butter, I was instead met with whatever fat was used in this mix. It was so overpowering that it left a coating in my mouth that was difficult to wash away. Not the dreaded coating.
Not good.
Not the dreaded coating.
Crisco, maybe. That's what they use.
Small is probably the first thing that you notice when you get a Wendy's biscuit. You're like, is that the whole thing? When it gets older, will it get bigger? There should be more here, Number 7, Burger King.
Hadn't had one of those in a long time either.
Should go to one where they got their order right.
So it was pleasingly crispy on the outside, gave way to a nice airy bubbles. It was buttery to bite into, while the inside was a tad dense. It had a nice texture, and it was surprisingly hearty. A couple of bites. That denseness on the inside, I like that as long as it's not too far gone. Sometimes it'll ball up like on the roof of your mouth, and you'll just be like, okay, this is too much. Where's the water? Give me something to work with. But I do like a little bit of density in my biscuit.
Little bit.
I want there to be, it can't all just be flakiness and lightness.
I feel like you have some substance there.
6, Chick-fil-A. I think they should be higher, frankly.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're too low here. Yeah.
I was offered both honey and jelly with my biscuit. I was surprised to find that the biscuit was already buttered. I don't know if this is done on all biscuit offerings. It is. But the plain biscuit I ordered came with a melty pat of butter on the inside. The outside was crispy, but it lacked those flaky bubbles that make eating a biscuit so enjoyable. Rather, this biscuit looked manufactured in form and shape, and the taste was mostly of flour and shortening. Yeah, what do you think a biscuit is?
Yeah, their biscuits are pretty good.
What is a biscuit? It's flour and shortening.
There you go.
I don't know what she wants.
Yeah, really.
What are you looking for?
That's why they gave you the honey or the jam.
Yeah.
Right.
Number 5, KFC.
Those are pretty good.
They make a hell of a biscuit.
They do a pretty good job with
Not
it.
a fan?
Never have tried there.
No, you've never tried them. Oh,
I
my
like
gosh. I can't believe they're number 5. They should.
I mean, when I
be
think breakfast
higher.
biscuits, I'm sorry, KFC doesn't come to mind.
No, breakfast, of course. But no, they serve biscuits with their fried chicken, anytime.
It's been a long time since I've had that.
Mm-hmm. Of all the biscuits I tried, KFC's version was the only one that had a slow and fluffy pull-apart texture to it. The inside stretched and sprang back as I opened it, and that is a sign of a well-made biscuit. The crispiness on the outside layer goes deep into the biscuit, which is not something I experienced with the other brands. It made for an enjoyable and buttery experience. The inside is dense, but it's still pillowy. See, they get it right. It was a great biscuit on its own, though it could definitely withstand some scoops of gravy. Well,
gravy's always good with a
say,
biscuit.
What couldn't?
Yeah.
You know what this spaghetti needs? Some gravy.
Really?
McDonald's. They put McDonald's ahead of KFC. Wrong.
Yeah, I think
You're
that's a mistake.
so wrong,
Biscuits?
Meredith.
And Chick-fil-A.
I guess on the biscuit side.
I think this goes behind KFC and Chick-fil-A. Sorry,
There's
McDonald's.
a flaky layer on the outside, which is accompanied by a brush of rich butter. The biscuit is not too big or too small, and it's hearty and fluffy on the inside. The butter taste doesn't sink too far past the crust either, which means the soft middle can serve as a great accompaniment to any breakfast pairing. I actively avoid McDonald's biscuits.
Now, their English muffin is pretty darn good.
The muffin is
they
great.
They do well with that.
But let's face it, the McGriddle is the greatest thing ever invented.
Oh, my goodness, that heavenly.
It's like McGriddle number 1, heart-lung machine number 2, radiation therapy is 3rd.
I don't, people don't, I think there's people that don't know about that.
Yeah.
That I remember there was a summer and I was like, I've got to quit eating these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have to stop.
You get a little hooked on those, especially if you live near a McDonald's.
Yeah, you're like no, don't pull in that drive-through.
When I was in Bessemer, man, I could pull right through that sucker, get a McGriddle, get on the interstate, and get on my way to work every day. And I was just like, this has got to stop.
They have the whole enchiladas right there.
Everything you need. Nothing you don't. Number 3, Red Lobster. This doesn't even belong on this list.
What? Red Lobster?
This does not belong on this list. It's a Cheddar Bay biscuit.
No,
it's different.
that
This would be
is
like
different.
putting Jim and Nick's cheese biscuits on here. You can't
Meredith,
do that.
you have screwed up.
No. I'm not even counting.
Yeah.
That one.
Now, that being said,
let's keep going.
Jim and Nick's cheddar. Yeah. I could go for some of that right now.
Number 2, Denny's.
Can't say I've had these.
Okay.
I don't think I ever have either. Don't know how much I appreciated Denny's biscuits until I tasted them alongside its competitors. I had tried a few before this one, so I can say I was wowed by it. The word decadent comes to mind immediately. The outside crisp was much more delicate than the other biscuits. Plus, the top was incredibly airy and carried just the right amount of butter. It didn't leave a greasy feeling or an aftertaste. The biscuit was rich with a dense middle that remained soft and fluffy. All right, Denny's is now on my list. And the number 1 best biscuit in chain restaurants, Popeyes.
Haven't had it.
Okay.
Don't
Nor
know.
have I. No, have I? I've had Popeye's chicken before, but I don't think.
You had any
Does
breakfast
it
or
automatically
biscuits?
come with biscuits? I'm trying to recall.
Like KFC?
The fact that I can't remember it tells you that
it wasn't that
if it was
great.
good, I wouldn't. Yeah. No, I love their red beans and rice. That was my thing. I would go to Popeyes and get the chicken and the red beans and rice.
Yeah, I would say top two for me would be KFC and Chick-fil-A. Those are probably my two favorites.
Okay, a question for the class. Why did Hardee's not make this list? That would
That's
be number
an interesting
one.
question.
Yeah, that's nationwide,
pretty
and
good.
they do biscuits a lot.
That is my number one. I love a Hardee's biscuit. To me, they nail it perfectly almost every time. They're made in-house, and it's like my grandma's in the back making them, I mean, that is that. And the other place I really love that isn't nationwide is Jack's. Jack's makes a hell of a biscuit. And when you're talking about, like I said, I actively avoid McDonald's biscuits because they're, let's just say, a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. The bacon and egg and cheese are fine. It actually, the biscuit is detracting from it. Like, that's how bad McDonald's biscuits are, in my opinion. I would much rather have a McGriddle or an Egg McMuffin or something like that. But if I'm going to get like a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, Hardee's, absolutely. Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, absolutely. Jack's, absolutely. McDonald's, avoid that like the plague. But different strokes for different folks, right? I don't care for them. I think I've made that abundantly clear.
I think you did.
747 with Dixon inviting Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com. They know what bugs you, the stuff that's creepy crawly getting into the house. As it gets hot, they like to be cool. When it gets wet, they like to be dry. When it gets too dry, they like to be moist. They always want to be in your house is what it comes down to. That's why you need somebody like Mr. Bugs who knows what to use, when to use it, where to use it, and they do such a great job for me. I can't stop singing their praises. I've had them now for 8 years, I want to say. They've been in the business for 45. They know a thing or two about this. They're also statewide. 844-MRBU-GGS. Ask about that mosquito reduction. What a huge deal that is, especially at this time of year. I just chatted with a couple of other people who used Mr. Bugs last, I guess it was the day before yesterday, and they all said the same thing. They're all like, yeah, what you say is true. I have not had a mosquito bite in my yard since I started using Mr. Bugs. I'm like, great. I love to hear it. I'm not the only one. Give them a call, 844-MRBUGGS, or find them online, MrBugs.com. They know what bugs you. All right, here's 2 fun facts. Number 1, I found out recently that Joe Walsh played on this song. That guitar solo you hear, that's Joe Walsh. Okay. Secondly, Jay Ferguson was one of the members of the what is considered to be the gold standard lineup of the group Spirit. Remember Nature's Way? It's Nature's Way of telling you.
Sort of.
Spirit had a couple of good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. You're never too old to learn something new.
Yeah, every single
Valerie,
day.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not a day goes by.
Oh, I have a lot of days go by that I don't learn anything, and most days I just forget stuff.
You're not trying hard enough.
To learn things?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm really not.
You're not.
Well, my head is full.
I know it's full.
When you get right down to it.
Yeah.
Full of something, anyway.
Right.
It's a problem. Let's take a look at some text, shall we? It's Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. By the way, Donald Trump is saying now we will be taking Karg Island.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Here we go.
Yep. I think he says
don't wait. I mean, again, you don't call the president and say stop bombing.
No.
That is not what he's looking for from you. And until you start uttering the words and sign the paper, well, we'll continue on. This is exactly what we talked about yesterday,
yes,
Richard.
But why does he always telegraph this stuff? Why is he always like, we're going to be taking Karg Island?
Because there's nothing he knows there's nothing they can do about it.
It's a
they've got no Navy, they've got no military, they've got nothing.
So what you're saying is
just, tell them exactly where you're going to be today. There's nothing they can do.
Iran is Magic Johnson and the U.S. is Larry Bird. Larry would regularly say, here's what I'm going to do. And then he would just go ahead and do it. And, Magic was powerless to stop him frequently. But what a great combo those guys were. Okay. Watched a guy buy a 3x3 storage locker last night. It was full of bags of poop, said Drew.
Ew.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate that.
I just got a chill.
JJ says Ted Kaczynski was caught by the USPS, not the FBI. Good point, but that was the crappy FBI. We got a better FBI now.
Yeah, we do.
Good
a much better FBI.
Mm-hmm.
Still cleaning house a little bit, but it's getting better.
Jeff says, if the luggage is unprocessed, how did they know there was a Rolex in the luggage? Well, Jeff, they opened it. Once it was bought, they opened it and said, oh, look, there's a Rolex. No, once you buy it, you don't have to keep it locked. You know that, don't you? You can open it up and take
roll
stuff
it in
out
a closet or leave it under the bed.
I'm sorry, you can buy this, but you cannot open it. You hold on to that forever now.
You must wait 1 year before you can open it.
And when you read the story, I was led to believe that once, like, for example, if I won the bid, they would open it and tell me what's in there or show it to me on video.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly how it works.
So they get to find out at the same time.
Exactly. Geneva says, Steve, what is the name of the last music I recognized, but I'm stumped? Not Thunder Island, but the one before that.
Hang on.
Steve doesn't remember either. We're doing very well. He forgets things every day as well. We're
it
all
happens.
in this together.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, it was Jason Aldean's Flyover States.
Okay, there you go. Hope you like that, Geneva. Okay. Sean says, most crumble? That's what I named my finishing move in the BWF, the Boudoir Wrestling Federation.
Okay, then.
The moist crumble. Sorry. Okay, Sam, we're not going to do that. Patrick says, McDonald's biscuits suck, but that steak biscuit they got, I think that only say croissant or whatever that is, but you have to tell him a biscuit if you want it, but I think they got pretty good. Probably ain't good for you, but it is decent. Patrick, voice to text fail.
Really bad there.
I love it. I think what he's saying is the steak biscuit is good. Ask for it on a croissant. Okay? I think I've had
They
their
do
steak.
Croissant at McDonald's?
Did I have? No, I don't think they do.
Croissant
now
at
that you
Burger
mention it.
King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a steak biscuit at Hardee's, which was outstanding.
Yeah.
But I think they stopped doing them after a while because steak became costly.
No, I don't think so. I think they still have it.
I haven't been to a Hardee's in forever. What I know. Was Bojangles on the list, says Maria. No. I think it's because, are they nationwide? Is Bojangles nationwide?
No, they're really more Southeast regional.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was very surprised Hardee's was not on the list. Also surprised that McDonald's was ahead of KFC and Chick-fil-A. Sounds like the person who did the survey has a beef with Hardee's, says Kyle. Maybe just never heard of them. In other parts of the country, they're called Carl's Jr., but it's the same operation. I don't know why they have different names, but this might have been a West Coast person, and they just didn't try the Carl's Jr.
Companies merged, and they decided not to change the signs. I don't know.
That is not unusual. Jack's at the Jemison exit off 65. Consistently good biscuits and fast service, says Mark. Well, goody. I'll make sure to stop by there next time I'm on my way to visit my grandson. What a bogus biscuit list, says Noel. Hardee's actually invented the biscuit and perfected it. Nobody's even close. They invented the biscuit?
Invented it? Really?
Really?
I'm not sure they invented the biscuit.
Grandma invented the biscuit.
May have invented the concept of putting breakfast stuff on the biscuit. I don't know. Bojangles makes good biscuits, too. Worst biscuit is Arby's. There is a reason no one ever is in their breakfast drive-thru. Well, what's the reason no one's ever in their drive-thru at lunch either? I drive by Arby's, and I'm just like, is that open?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell. Okay. Remember Dale Jackson would always claim that it was a money laundering operation?
Yeah, that's what he thought.
He's like, I never see anybody there. It's got to be a money laundering operation. I agree Jackson Hardee's should be 1 and 2, but Hardee's workers can't even tell me why the egg on a biscuit is folded. Not really working with the lights on, LOL.
Wow.
I suspect, like a lot of places, Hardee's eggs come out of a carton. That is to say, like a milk carton, you know?
Yeah.
Many's the time that you already get pre-mixed eggs and you just pour them, and so they get flat, and then
Makes
you
it a
fold
little
them.
easier,
And
yeah.
not everybody's got the real egg. I tell you who has a real egg for breakfast, and I don't like it. It's odd, is Crystal. I was out of town once, and Crystal was like the only place nearby, and I went, I'm going for breakfast. I'm starving. And I got like 2 of their little breakfast sandwiches, and it had real eggs on it, like actual fried. Something's wrong with these eggs. Never doing that
It
again.
could have been bad.
Could have been bad eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what was her name? Veruca Salt.
Ooh.
She was a bad egg.
A really bad
Yeah.
egg. Off she went the chute.
I want the
Bye.
Loompa Loompa now, Daddy.
You're not getting it, girl.
No, she ends up going down the chute, ends up on a crystal biscuit. That's what happened there.
Cheese on her head.
It's 8 o'clock with Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5. This is the bizarre world that we inhabit every single morning.
You never know what you're going to get.
Get used to it.
It's like a buffet.
Yeah. No, actually, on a buffet, you do know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
You see it.
kind
It's
of.
right there in front of you.
Yeah, but
you know?
it's the stuff underneath
Yeah.
you're not sure
Like a
about.
box of chocolates.
Like a box of
Just
chocolates.
like a box of chocolates. Comes with its own little map. What do you mean you never know what you're going to get? It's all